Well, let's speak now to the Africa Transformation Movement's parliamentary leader, Mr. Vuyo Zungula, who joins us for more on this case. Mr. Zungula, a good evening to you. I imagine that you were able to pick up on really what came out of the court there in Modimolle, as we heard the first witness speaking about the sale of this buffalo, how that money came to be on the president's farm, where it was stored. I mean, very interesting details. I'm keen to hear just your view on what we are starting to hear in this trial.
Evening, Naledi, and your viewers. Firstly, perhaps from our side, we do not have any form of confidence in this trial, particularly because anything concerning Phala Phala, the state has proven itself that it is a state that will use the institutions such as SARS, the Reserve Bank, IPID, the Public Protector, to protect any forms of wrongdoing that implicates the president, because the bottom line here, Naledi, is that there was undeclared foreign currency that was in the farm of the president. And as per the witness today, it is an anomaly that a person just comes out of the blue with 580,000 US dollars and then just says he's going to buy buffaloes and cattle and all of those things, whereas the business is used to having businesses, transactions that are done via EFT or online payments. So, but what we've seen from state institutions is the blatant protection of the president and his associates. And this is something that, in our view, is going to continue with this trial. But we're happy that these witnesses are actually showing how much Mr. Ramaphosa knew about the illegalities of having foreign currency in his farm, how he did not basically report as required by the FIC. And we just wanting to have a case whereby we build all of those information and evidence based on those witnesses, so that when we take that public protector review, report on review, we'll be able to supplement our affidavits on it.
Yeah, I want to actually just go back to some of the points that you've made for a while, though, as the African Transformation Movement. You've continuously and even now continue to raise issue with the way in which Rhoda conducted the investigation into what took place at the Phala Phala farm. I think take us back there, and you continuously talk about a systemic cover-up that's taking place.
Yeah, so the facts are very clear that there's theft. That is why those guys are in court now. There's a criminal proceeding because there was a theft that occurred. And there was an investigation that was done by Wale Rode, who is not mandated in terms of the SAPS Act to conduct any form of investigation on criminal activities pertaining to any forms of theft. And also, because there was no case that was opened, one cannot say that that particular investigation was done above board. It is very clear it was an illegal investigation that was done using state resources. And whatever that Wale Rode did in terms of doing an illegal investigation, he did not just wake up and proceed to illegally investigate the theft. He was mandated or given instruction by his political principal, who is the president. So we found it very absurd that the public protector would place the blame on Wale Rode, and yet the person who gave the instruction, which is the president, was left off the hook. And when you go to IPID and SAPS, they say there was a disciplinary hearing that was done. And however, Wale Rode is still in the same position. He's still earning the same salary. There's nothing fundamentally that has changed in terms of his position and his work. Yet SAPS wants us to believe that he was disciplined. So what we see here is a systematic destruction of all state institutions to protect one person, which is Mr. Ramaphosa. And that is something that South Africans need to take cognizance when it comes to how they vote in future, because it is clear that the country cannot coexist with criminals of the ANC who will do anything to protect themselves, even if it comes at the destruction of our state institutions.
I mean, you did bring this question up to the acting police minister, Feroz Kachalia, in Parliament, right? And the response that he essentially gave you was that Major General Wally Roda had not been found guilty at all of going against or breaching any sort of disciplinary code.
Yeah, and one would wonder how come then the public protector in that particular report found that Wally Rode was in breach of the SAPS Act, was in breach of the processes that one needs to follow when it comes to conducting investigations. So what we see here is a systematic cover-up, and it is something that is so damaging towards our own institutions. And it's worrying to find people that one would hope that they are ethical professionals who must just follow the law, but they are allowing themselves to be used by the politicians who are not going to be in power forever to take part in the systematic destruction of our country. Just like it has happened with the IPID, which cleared him, one would ask himself a question to say, in this particular trial, what is the end game? Because I can tell you for now, for sure, there is no way in which the ANC and its deployees are going to allow a situation whereby those people that are taking the stand, they confess in terms of how much was stolen, and if there was more money that was in that particular farm, and the torture, because remember Arthur Fraser alleged that there was torture, there was bribing, they were bribed to keep quiet. So all of those things, I don't think the state will want to be embarrassed by those truths that would come out if the trial is going to happen as it is proceeding now.
And it's big allegations, but let's move on to what it is that the African Transformation Movement is going to be doing going forward. Is there going to be some sort of challenge that you take up, particularly with the disciplinary committee of the police?
What we've done for now is the public protector report, which deals with the entire Phala Phala scandal, how it was handled. We are waiting for a court date because we've challenged that particular report. When it comes to the IPID report that clears Wally Rode, we are in conversation with our legal advisors to find means and ways to actually challenge how can the IPID clear Wally Rode, whereas the public protector in their own report found that there was instances of wrongdoing. So we do not want institutions that do not speak to each other. We do not want a case whereby there is blatant and clear disregard of the law, but the ones that are in power are just going to use their power to protect and to protect the people that are in the wrong, because it is very clear in the case of Wally Rode, as a head of the Presidential Protection Unit, he is not mandated to conduct any form of investigation. There was no police docket that was opened. There was no case that was opened. Therefore, he should not have been doing any form of investigation. However, he did, and it is very, very concerning how IPID can then come and sell a lie to South Africans to say Wally Rode did nothing wrong.
Okay. I'm out of time, and I'll give you 30 seconds for this one. You did say at the beginning that you're not confident that this trial that has gotten underway in the Modimolle Regional Court is going to bring any sort of answers at the beginning of that interview. But will you be watching? We've seen some delays. The trial, of course, set to sit again on Wednesday and then again towards the end of September.
Yeah, we'll be definitely watching because we need to guard the process. We need to make sure that the process, even though we do not have faith in the process, but we need to take the outcomes of the process and the manner in which it is conducted as a means of challenging everything concerning Phala Phala.
Right. Well, we leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Mr. Vuyo Zungula, of course, is the parliamentary leader for the African Transformation Movement.